we just had a great session, which was a panel session, and we were talking about the well-being of leaders in schools, what leaders actually do, and how we need to support their leadership. Well, personally, I thought it was great with these two wonderful leaders from schools. I mean, how did you feel it went?
It was lovely. It was lovely to talk about wellbeing. It's such a current topic, but it's something that's so important, and I think it was great to share views and opinions with like-minded people.
And there was a lot to share, actually, wasn't there?
Definitely, so much to share, and it was amazing to have people here and getting involved and having questions from the audience, and it's just great to put wellbeing first.
Yeah, and it was definitely a lot about well-being. It was a lot that was talked about teacher well-being, student well-being, but above all, leader well-being. We spoke a lot about why it was so important and the role of leaders. I mean, Rebecca, do you want to say something?
I think obviously the pandemic has put wellbeing at the forefront of everybody's mind because of the journey that everybody's come through in there. And I think as educators, we see the children on a daily basis. It's so important. Their wellbeing, their happiness in school is just fundamental to being able to have a positive learning environment. So for us, it was more about the wellbeing of the children, but equally the wellbeing of staff, because they've had a rough ride in the last few years, and it continues to be. There's, the pandemic is over, but the issues that it created are still in schools. So it's important to be able to make sure that it's at the forefront of what we do.
And you would say the same, I think, wouldn't you, Kathryn, from what we were talking about?
Definitely, absolutely. I think the more that we can consider well-being as a priority for schools, and I think the pandemic helped us to do that, the more we're able to consider that a priority, I think the better off that students will be in the future, and that's really what we're here for.
Well, one of the key takeaways I took away was the importance of being really transparent, being honest, being authentic, and actually empowering leaders in whatever way possible. I mean, we talked about various different ways. We talked about approaches that people have in schools. We talked about coaching. We talked about all those different ways to be able to help leaders gain their authentic voice and bring that away. But there were other takeaways, weren't there, as well?
Yeah, authenticity, a huge one, I think, but the ability to listen and be approachable to your community, your staff, but your children as well, and your parents, just to make sure that you are as honest and transparent as possible, so they understand the nuances of the school and everything that they're going through too, and they can join you on that journey and support.
And any other takeaways?
Yeah, so especially in terms of parents, it's important for us to help them as well and help them to understand how important well-being is in schools, because sometimes it's very easy to just think about school as a place where you get your results and you go off to university, and actually it's a place to learn who you are, to learn to grow, and to find out what will make you happy in life.
And equally that applies for leaders, as much to leaders as it does to students. So that was another key takeaway. Now that is a big question for the future of education, but in fact we did touch upon that in our session, because it was about putting well-being first in many ways, and the growth of the human being, and recognising every member of the school community as someone precious and someone to grow. I think I've summarised that well. I mean, yes, there we go. Oh, favourite bit, undeniably, working with these two wonderful women, because, as I said at the end of the session, my well-being has improved as a result of our session. So thank you very much to both of you.